Right. Good morning again, everybody. Good afternoon for joining us. My name is Emmanuel, and I'll be moderating the class for today. I'm sure we all had an amazing session last week, which was the first class of this program, and we must have introduced ourselves. So today we would not be taking so much time. We'll be going straight to the important announcements before going to the class. So, welcome you to today's class again. Please, before I go on, if you can hear me, let me know. Let me know in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic briefly.
Loud and clear.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so welcome you to today's session from Transformation College, and these are our programs. Registrations are still going on. Tell your family, tell friends, tell everybody, tell your cousin, tell your nephew to come and register for our programs. Also, the attendance form will be posted on the chat box as the class starts and goes on. Please endeavor to fill the attendance form, as this is a very important part of the program. It's going to be part of your assessment and it would reflect on your transcript. So please, when the attendance form is being posted in the chat box, click on it, fill it out, and join back to the class. So today's session is going to be really amazing. We are considering create business value from AI. We're going to be looking at how you can create value for your business from AI. So we'll be having Benjamin Azure as our trainer. Let's get to know Benjamin. Benjamin Azure is an information security and risk management professional specializing in compliance, internal controls, and regulatory frameworks such as ISO 27001, PCI DSS. His work focuses on helping organizations strengthen their governance, risk, and compliance (GRC) posture through risk assessment, security audits, and process improvement. With a background in international business, he combines strategic business insight with technical security expertise to support organizations in building resilient, compliant, and secure operations. Without further ado, I'll be handing over to Benjamin. Benjamin, are you here with us, please?
Hello.
Oh,
Good
hello,
morning,
Benjamin. Nice
everybody.
to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Good morning to everyone on the call. Thank you for that brief and very respectable introduction. As you said, my name is Benjamin Azuri. I'll be your instructor for today, taking you through how we go through the creative impacts of AI in our business analysis, forum moving forward. So we had a session last week. Um, with Kwabena Boateng, who did a great job of introducing us to the business analysis space. I'm sure if you remember, we had the introduction to artificial intelligence. We all know what AI is now. We've been using it for a while. We are just all here trying to, bolster our knowledge and our use of the AI tools or the AI collaborative tools and measures that we have available to us in this century. So we have done quite a bit, and now we are going to build up on what we know. So today, I'll be taking you through a few concepts that allow us to engage in business analysis with some forethought, with some, foresight. They said what God is what He's all knowing. We are not all knowing, but we can use this concepts to actually see how we can bolster and further our analysis into the business landscape so that we can have some foresight into what might happen or how to better our already existing knowledge in the business analysis scape. So I will share my screen and we will have a little discussion before we actually jump into some practical sessions. So if you bear with me for a couple of minutes. Yeah, hello. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, brilliant. So today, title of our slide is AI powered business analysis. So we are mastering the BABOK. Who remembers what the BABOK stands for? BABOK. BABOK. Why are we using BABOK? We know what BA stands for. Just give it to all of us that we know what BA stands for because it is part of the name of this course. We know what BA is. But what does the BOK stand for? And what are the
That's
intrepid
body of
contributions?
knowledge.
Body of knowledge, beautiful. Body of knowledge. So the business analysis body of knowledge. So here we are understanding what the body of knowledge is with intelligent tools. So we have what 50 techniques. Today we will look at a few. So the business analysis body of knowledge, we have what 50 techniques in which we'll be using to build our body of knowledge to master what's the business analysis. So we are bridging the analysis design thinking with the process and workflow modeling. Why do we process and why do we do workflow modeling? What is modeling? Can anyone give me an example of what a model is? What does a model do for us? Why should we model? Why should we have a workflow model? Anyone in the chat room, you can unmute and speak. Let's have a conversation about what workflow modeling is before we move on. We have AI at our disposal. If we don't really feel like we know what workflow modeling, let's just get a basic understanding of it. Let's go and do a little check. Let's ask Gemini, let's ask Copilot, let's ask ChatGPT, let's ask DeepSeek. Let's ask them what is modeling? Why do we need workflow modeling across a business analysis body of knowledge? This is not modeling where you wear clothes and you have to walk down the runway to show who you are, but it does kind of have a correlation. Yes, I see Mr. Adiola has muted. Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, model speaks to pattern or a kind of template to follow in carrying out a certain task.
Great, great. A pattern or what's a template in which we may be using to undertake whatever task it may be. So it's also very important to understand that as a business analyst, you have to know the space in which you work. So as Mr. Emmanuel did for myself, when he was introducing me, he specified what I did. So as a business analyst, you can be working in different spaces. You have to understand how to work, inculcate or incorporate your business analysis knowledge into the space in which you work. You don't just take a model for maybe someone who's doing structural engineering and then pick up his model and then feel like because it's a general idea that can be translated from point to point, you decide to also use it for maybe your chemical engineering business analysis knowledge. No, you have to find the tools and the model that works for your side. What an engineer might do, a theoretical person might not be able to use. So we also have to understand that inherently in the back of our minds that not every model that we pick up can be used for all tasks. So for our space in maybe the GRT and compliance areas, we use workflow models so that we use workflow models that can cut across. So there are basic workflow models and there are more complex workflow models. So a workflow model for that can cut across board is something like an agile workflow model. That one, it allows us to structure our tasks accordingly. So you can structure your tasks accordingly. So from top to bottom, you know that okay, fine. We are starting with this step and we are working on this sprint. When we are completing this sprint, we move on to the next one in accordance with um, the workflow that we have described. So we know that fine. We are taking it step by step, and the sprint is basically a task that you have set for yourself to be completed. If that task is completed, you do not move on to the next one because they build on each other. If you don't complete one fully and you move on to the next task, you might end up having a shortfall at the end of um, the entire process, which is not what we're looking for. We're looking for complete, full, and a constructive task to be completed. So today's journey from foundation to AI implementation. So before we even look at these four, we or us, me, let me speak for myself. I was using not AI, but the younger generation started using tools online. So before AI was even incorporated, we have something we call machine learning. A machine would learn and then it would improve upon itself. But it wasn't automatic that you request something and it gives it to you. You had to do the um, structuring and everything manually. Now with the use of AI augmentation, it means that AI has been augmented. To augment something means to attach or to put in an extension. So the AI has been augmented to the tasks that we do every day. It has been attached to. So it means that when we are working or when we are on a site, we can have an AI chatbot. It's an augmentation of the site to make what work flow easier. It is an extension of the site to make sure that we don't have to be present 24/7 to make sure that a task gets what executed. So that is what AI augmentation. So before AI augmentation, we had the basic, going to Google, using a prototype site to create a prototype for maybe a website or an application you want to create. When you're creating that website, all of a sudden you need to, have some functionalities embedded, but you have to go and do what? Manual research to actually get the information on the knowledge to come and then what? Implement it into the prototyping application in which you have decided to use. But now with the integration of AI into most of these applications, it makes it very easy. You just tell it what you want to do. So you ask it the question, okay, you are you want to write an email, a basic email to maybe your boss or to a client. Let's even use clients outside of the internal scope so that it has more jeopardy attack. You ask the AI, oh, I am supposed to reply a mail and it has outlined this information. You copy the email that was sent to you, put into the AI and you specify, okay, I would like a professional email reply to the below email that I have attached. Can you please specify that the response should have A, B, and C? And I need A, B, and C when the response comes in to make sure that we can undertake this project successfully. You click send, the AI reads, understands your sentiment, two, your request in general, and three, it gives you a response. So these are some of the things that the AI can do for you based on what its learning ability. Is that okay? Am I okay? So for any questions here? Any questions? Are we okay? Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please, you can go on.
All right. Thank you very much. So we'll be looking at what's the core analysis and design thinking of an AI. Then we look at what's from like what I just said, the idea in your mind to what is required of you. Then the blueprint process. What is the actual, outline of what you need to do, the process, and then what's the workflow, and then the toolkits, the types of AI, the tools that we can use to use for the business analysis case. That's what we'll be looking at. So in any business analysis, there's something we call the 5 Ws and the 1 H. Who can tell me what that is? The 5 Ws and the 1 H. Who knows what the 5 Ws and the 1 H are in the chat room, or you can speak to us. We have a few people on this call. Let us all contribute a little so that we can commit something to memory. Let us all contribute so we can commit something to memory. Anyone who knows what the 5 Ws and the 1 H is, come, let's unmute or put it in the chat room. The 5 Ws and the 1 H. Yes, Mr. John. Who, why, where?
One of it is why, when, who, what, and the H is how.
How. The H is how. Very good. Who, what, when, where, why. So in a different space, the who, what, when, where, why is the basis for any form of investigation. So in a criminal sense, you ask yourself, okay, who committed the act? what was the act they committed? Why did they commit the act? When did they commit that? So all these, you combine them and you get what a timeline, you understand the motive, you then understand the full picture, the bigger picture, which is what we are trying to do in any aspect of our business analysis case. We need to see the full and bigger picture as to the business that we are trying to analyze. So we need to understand every single aspect of it. So it says what? Root cause analysis. Root cause analysis, the RCA. So this is what moving beyond the symptoms to identify the true source of what a business problem. So you have to understand that you're a problem solver.
Sorry, Mr.
Hello,
Benjamin.
hello. Yes,
Yes,
hello.
can
Go
you
ahead.
put the slide on presentation mode, please?
Okay. Is that okay?
Yes,
Hello?
this is good. Yes, this is good.
Okay. All right. So yes, so we are trying to look at what the bigger picture because you are what a problem solver. You are not being called a business analyst because everything is going good. You are being called a business analyst because what you are here to do is to solve a problem, to make sure that there's either no problem or we can have what, like I said, foresight, look into the future as to what may or may not happen and how we can what improve the business as a whole. So we are problem solvers. So it says well, techniques like fishbone diagrams and the five whys help peel back layers of complexity to reveal what underlying causes, the underlying causes. So we have three types of we have three basic what's it called concepts that we can use here. So concept modeling, functional decomposition, and what mind mapping. We'll look at all these as we move further into the presentation. So that's what AI action, supercharging analysis and thinking. AI as your thought span. So the world as we know it today is becoming very, and this is just my opinion. You can have yours, and that is also perfectly fine. It has become a very, it has made us very thoughtless, or a few of us very thoughtless in our approach to doing things these days. We feel like because AI is there, we don't need to read, we don't need to think, we can just ask the question and to give us the answer. But we also have to understand that just like any tool, it's a double-edged. Just like a kitchen knife, it can cut you and it can cut your vegetables or your meat. It's a double-edged sword. It can be good for you, but if you do not handle it well, it's bad for you. So you have to think of it as what a partner. Your partner is not there to do all the work for you. You have to help yourself as and when. It is there to do what? Help you and guide you through and make your life what's easier, not take over completely. If it was taking over completely, then I guess you wouldn't be needed in the first place, which is what a lot of people in the world are now scared of. They are all worried that, oh, the AI is going to take my job. My job is so simple. Is this and that? No, AI is not here to take your job. AI is here to augment itself to you and your tasks to make what efficiency build efficiency. In any organization, efficiency is the number one factor of determining cost in profit margins, return on interest, efficiency. If you can undertake a task efficiently, you will maximize your profits and your outputs. It is just it's what it is not inversely related, but it's directly related. Those who know their maths will understand the equation. It is not inversely proportional, it's directly proportionate. If you have efficiency, your profits will go up. So it says what? It can be what? Your brainstorming partner. Some of these AIs are familiar to a lot of us. We'll jump into some of them um, as we finish the entry part of this presentation. So hopefully just on the side, just by the way, we want to use 1 hour or 1 hour, 15 minutes for the theoretical and the understanding of what the business analysis space is doing. And then we use 45 minutes to try and get some hands-on experience with a few of the AI and free AI tools that we can access online. Those of us who can even get paid versions, even the better for us. So it says what as a brainstorming partner. So you was use ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. Claude is relatively new. It has been in existence, but it has now gain some higher functionalities than ChatGPT and Gemini. Yes, paid versions are there, but Claude seems to have a plethora. It's just so much functionality these days. You can do web design on it. You can integrate it into your emails systems to reply mails. For it's like it's fully automated. Claude is a fully automated system now, unlike ChatGPT, which is still doing some further modeling and cost relatively more. But yeah, so we use these tools to generate what dozens of potential causes for root cause. You can try this right now, and then you can even give me a response. You can even just enter your web browser as you are listening, and then you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini a question about the business analysis space. Any questions that relates to something that you need to find a root cause. Okay, so you can ask a question in relation to, let's say, business continuity management systems. Okay, fine. There has been a warning of what severe storms in the country of, let's say, Texas in the month of what, let's say, June, July, because maybe that's the time it would be too summery and then it's be very warm, so the storms might be coming. Okay, can you please create me a mind map and root cause analysis for these such scenarios? And as an agentic AI, it takes your inputs and then it generates what feedback for you in a structured manner and gives you what a final answer. So, okay, fine. The root causes are listed as the follows below. And you see, it gives you a structure. You tell it what to do, and it gives you the structure as opposed to what your mind might do. If I tell you to go and write maybe an essay or a poem or something like that, your limited human nature, because of your limited resources or your limited memory capacity or your limited knowledge, you write something that is very inferior to what an AI might write because it has what machine learning. It has actively learned and stored certain inputs into its memory, which it can regurgitate back for you or function and replicate the way you want. It has what an active library of information. That is what's data, testing data at its fingertips actively. So even if you ask the question it has never seen before, it has almost access to the entire web of information to actually what generate an appropriate response for you. And even in the question in which you ask it, it is learning from the question you are asking. Because from the time AI was developed, it started very small, very little, with the little things like the way you're creating a website. To start with what a very plain basic was HTML block, just containers, headers, basic things. Then you add some CSS, then you add some JavaScript, and then you make it all this. Now AI can create websites for you without even you thinking about where did you miss a comma, a space to close a bracket, or those kinds of things. You don't have to worry about all those things these days because an AI has learned and can do it for you. Right now, if they say a human being should debug the code, they might take the person, depending on the line of code, it might take the person a few days. And AI can almost instantly find the bug and tell you that, okay, fine, this is where it needs to be fixed, and even fix it for you. So it can become what your brainstorming partner. Then we have what synthesis and summarization. So we have these two tools. I check them out myself. They do require payments and some form of registration to actually get access. So, but they are very good tools for what things like in-house meetings. So like this meeting like this we are in, if you had access to Firefly.ai or Otter.ai, they would record this meeting, or it will actively be listening into this meeting. So we're transcribing the main points of this meeting down into memory, and then it would take down and break down the points of the meeting to you at the end of this and provide it to you as a report structure. It is even active. Sometimes you don't even have to wait to the end of the meeting, but normally you can only know everything that's supposed to be said till the end. So, but actively as we are speaking, it is transcribing all the information of the meeting. Even this meeting, I believe, is being transcribed. So it's able to synthesize and summarize your talking. That is audio. So the capabilities of AI are not limited to what the physical aspect. That is what you give it input. So the input is now all five, not all five senses, but the major senses of what speech and your thoughts and your hearing. So those things are able to do that for you. So We have the last one, what structure and breakdown. So you can ask Claude or Gemini to perform what's first pass functional decoding of high level goals. So let me just break this down for you so that we understand this. So what high level goals? So what is a high level? A high level goal, like what has been said, is what is decompose, improve customer onboarding. That is a high level goal. So in order, your boss asks you to undertake a task, but in order to undertake that task, you need to know what the sub goals you need to complete to get that general task complete. So he says, what go and let's just use a basic something very simple, something like a layman's term. You work in a repair shop, hmm, and your quote unquote master, what do you call them? Your master tells you, oh, I need you to change the brake pads on this Honda Civic for a client. That is what your high level goal. Your high level goal is to make sure that the brake pads on the Honda Civic have been changed and they work well. So now you break down those high level goals into smaller level tasks or functions that can get you to the end goal of getting those brake pads changed. So what is your first goal? Your first goal is to what? Get the car on a jack and race into the air. Your second goal is to what? Get the wheel off the wheel hub. Third goal is to what? Locate where the brake pads are located and then see if you can access them. Then all those little tasks form up until the end of where you have to what? Put the wheel back on, lower the car, and then go back to the start the car, move, and then test the brake pads and make sure that maybe they're not squeaking and they're performing effectively. That's what things like Claude and Gemini can do for you. You give them a general task and they're able to break it down into sub-tasks that you can perform effectively to get the business analysis goal what complete. Is that okay? Can everyone here still hear me? And do you understand this section? Can everyone still hear me? Do you understand? Do you have any questions? Hello, anyone there? Can anyone? Are you still with me?
Yes, you are with you.
Yes, we are here. We have a reply on the chat box. Says no question.
Oh, no question. Okay. I cannot see the chat box since I'm in presenter view. Okay, no questions. All right, thank you. So from what? From ideas to requirements, user stories, use cases, and prototyping. Anybody tell me why we would tell stories? Why do we need user stories? Why do we need use cases? Why do we need prototyping? Does anyone understand or have any idea what this is?
Good day, sir.
Yes, hello.
So I feel like just to ensure the user understand, get the roadmap to as about how to use the details.
Okay, very good, very good, very good. Anyone else? Anyone else with a contribution? So the brain is a funny thing. It remembers more of what it says than what is said to it. The brain remembers more of what it says than what is said to it. So please contribute. It will help in your memory and your actual understanding of the concepts in which we are looking at today. Okay. So yes. No, no, no. Very good. So from ideas to requirements, user stories, use cases, and prototypes. So what's the user story? capturing requirements from the end user's perspective using the formula as a I want to, so that who remembers what Kwabena Boateng taught you guys last week? I believe he spoke a lot about prompting. Prompting. Who remembers what prompting is? Hmm? Last
I do
week.
remember
Yes.
as
Yes.
yes, prompting how to use AI, different AI to prompt figure or to prompt what to ask AI.
Very good. Very good. So the prompt is what you tell the AI to give you what an accurate or a determined response. You don't want a generic response. You ask it, okay, who is Barack Obama? And then it gives you a Wikipedia response. You could have easily typed that into Google 5 years ago and still gotten a response. But you want a specific action to be undertaken based on what who you are. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's what prompting is. So that's what the ideas to requirements is trying to say. It's a form of understanding what prompting is. That is what the user story is. So it says what capturing the requirements from the end user's perspective, end user being whoever is interacting with the AI. So it says what as a what. So let's use myself as an example. As a management systems consultant, I want to conduct an audit for a client who is a bank with 5 departments, and I'll list the departments so that I can, what's the benefit I'm going to state? The benefit is what? So that I can produce an audit report that reflects what? Information security readiness, or find the gaps in their information security readiness towards remediate for what? Possible certification. Then to give you what? An intrepid or an outlined or a correct audit plan so that you can undertake it with those clients of yours. So what is the benefit? What this technique keeps solutions grounded in real user needs rather than what technical specifications. So you're actually putting up or you're actually satisfying the need of the clients because you were asked to conduct that audit not for your own sake, but for a certain purpose sake. The purpose being what? Information security readiness for what? External certification. So if the AI or the agentic AI in which you're asking this question understands that okay, this is what you are trying to do, then it can what? It can provide you what? A solution that is what? Accurate and it has the best case answer to your questions as well. Use case and scenarios, which is another form of it. So if you know it is hard to, directly tell the AI that okay, this is what I need. You can use what a scenario-based situation. Most of the time when we're having conversations with our friends, our bosses, anyone, our family, sometimes we don't actually just state what it is. We use stories or a scenario. It's like, oh, what if it was this? Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not every time that you are going to explain something that you have to be as direct as you can. Sometimes explaining directly is very hard. Even in parliaments and in courts, we use what scenarios to explain situations to judges, to lawyers, to people who are trying to understand that better. Because a scenario is what's more relatable. A scenario is able to what give us an idea of what outcome you are looking for. So that's why we have those use cases and scenarios. So describing a step-by-step interaction between your user and the system to achieve what a specific goal. You get so it allows us to avoid errors, and you can avoid adding things that are irrelevant to the situation if you use a scenario. The scenario starts from point A to point B. Anything outside of that confinement is what unnecessary. Then we have what's prototyping. So some you get even in this image on the right hand side of your screen, you see that this is some form of a code. So prototyping is something that we use to create what a mock-up. A mock-up is what a basic design or a visual representation of normally applications or web applications. That's what you might normally use prototyping for. But prototyping has broadened its scope over the last few years from basic things like actual applications to processes and requirements that we tend to undertake in our organization. So We create what interactive mockups to gather early feedback and validate requirements before development begins. So if I need a prototype of an Uber application or an application such as, let's say, it's a GRC application, I will not actually go and code the entire application. I want to understand what the user interaction and the user experience portion of the design before I actually go and code it. Even better for us, or better for those who do design and development, what happens is AI has even been embedded in prototyping such that when you do a prototype, it can actually give you the code. Instead of manually going to type the code, it will produce the code for the prototype that you have created, saying, okay, fine. For this prototype that you have designed on our system with our with our basic tools, the AI has generated what the outline code in which will provide you this exact looking website with these functionalities that you have used our prototype model for. So you can then normally you have to pay, but after you maybe have a credit card info in the site, you can then go and copy that code and put it into your text editor or your ID development environment, and then you can then launch or start running your application. So we can use this not just for building of applications, but for things such as processes we undertake in our organizations. You can prototype an outcome. One example of prototyping or testing is what we call tabletop exercises. You do a mock-up of maybe, let's say, a fire drill. You sit at the table and then, okay, fine. We want to call out, what's it called? We want to do a physical setting of what will happen if there's a fire outbreak in the office. Who do we call? We also do that for incident response planning in ISO 27001. You can do tabletop exercises to, have a mock-up and understanding of when an actual incident happens, what we need to do or what we can do to make sure that we bring down any form of risk and rectify the issue as fast as possible. Is that understood? Any questions here?
No, sir. No question, sir.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. Who here is more of a reader? Who here understands more when they read? Let's see some hands up in the chat, or just unmute and then you can share with us. Who here is more of a visual learner? Who here is more of a reading learner? Who here is more of a teaching learner? How do you understand, or how do you learn best? How do you understand things the best?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So I feel like it's a two-way thing. So for the teaching, it depends on the person's maybe the way and pattern at which the person is teaching me as a person. And for the reading, it also depends on how simplified the material I'm using to read is. So with that,
Okay. So
I'll
it's
be able
all
to.
okay.
So
Okay.
it's
I
on.
get you. I get you. Okay. I get it. I get it. I guess. So everyone learns what's differently. How everyone learns is different. But one of the most from childhood growing up, they say the best way a child learns is via visual cues. That's why we use apple. If you say apple, you show them a picture of an apple. If you say orange, you show them a picture of an orange. You do 1+1 is 2 on paper first before it sticks into their mind. The same thing is done even at a larger scale. We can't do everything in our heads. We can't do everything conceptually. We have to bring some certain things down into physical manifestation so that we can actually see and understand. Because sight is the biggest form of sense in our body. Sight and sound provide us the most information moving forward in our human life. So if that is what provides us the most information or the most context or concepts to anything we do, in our, business analysis forums, we need to be able to visualize our written requirements to a degree. We even need to be able to visualize them and make sure that, okay, fine, we can understand them and input them to the best of our understanding. So AI can what? You can build your written requirements and your mockups via from text to visuals instantly. And when we say instantly, people think that, oh, we have like that. It's literally instant. If you told a painter to draw you or to draw a bridge, it would take him days on end to get it to perfection. But now you ask an AI to generate an image for you, and within 10 seconds, depending on the speed of your internet and the speed of the server in which the AI is running and the database it is getting its information from, almost instantly you can get an image. Almost instantly you can get an image. So we are also trying to take our written requirements, turn them into visuals, so that we can get a better understanding of what we are trying to do. So up here, so to draft and refine, we have Jasper, Write My PRD, or ChatGPT, to transform raw requirements list into formal user stories and use cases. User stories. We looked at user stories in the previous slide, user stories. So after the user story, you've been able to prompt an AI. You can tell you can use these other AIs to turn them into bullet points and formal user stories, acceptance criteria. You can turn them into this, and then you visualize the ideas next. You can use UIZard or Wizard, which is a word play. So you describe it to the wizard. So there's an example there. The example is mobile app dashboard for a fitness tracker. Mobile app dashboard for a fitness tracker. And generates prototypes instantly. Not one, prototypes. To prototype back in, let's say, even 6, 7, 5 years ago, you would sit behind a computer for at least, if you are fast, for a day to prototype anything, any form of application. Any questions? I can hear someone speaking. Any questions? Okay. Since it's very carry. So, like I said, 5, 6 years ago to prototype, 5, 6 prototype, 5, 6 years to prototype will take you, if you are very good and you are not lazy and you want to sit there, you can take you a full day to draw a mock-up. To draw a mock-up of an application. It could take you way longer. Remember when we were doing some of our courses in the university? It take you days on end to get a prototype completed. The prototyping was a course on its own before you go into the design aspects of it and then the coding aspects of it. Those were individual tasks. Pardon me. Yes. It says, use Framer AI to transform sketches into polished interactive design. So you can even draw, you can use paint, even if it's your hand, you can take a picture and upload it. Now it can take those little things, those imperfect things, and make close to perfection of what you've done. So you are visualizing, you are putting text to image and unrefined images to refined images. Then you have structured logic. So you can use Gemini or Rationalize to identify missing access, preconditions, or alternative flow in use cases. And the AI it will spot the gap. So the things you cannot actually see, or the things that will take you so long to actually notice, the AI will then notice it for you. So spot the gap in the logic. That's why it otherwise was delayed development. So this is something that is used more in the case of those managing development of applications and web services and APIs. this is where you will be using these a lot. And do bear in mind that to get the best out of an AI, you need to get to the paid version. The free versions will never give you the full-blown limits or the full-blown accessibility to all the functionalities of the AI. So give you limited, especially ChatGPT. If you realize you can only upload 2 images for analysis and design, so what your data limits for analysis has been reached, then they shut you up and they say you cannot do any more analysis. Same for generation of documentation and all those things. So we have to understand that there are no free meals. Everything has to be paid and taken advantage of. Is everyone okay? Is everyone following? Are we okay thus far? Is everyone following? Do we understand so far? Do we have any questions? Please ask questions. Anything you think. There's no wrong question. There's no irrelevant question. There are no bad questions here. We're all learning. It's business analysis. You need to understand what's the full scope.
Please, if you have any question, feel free to start in the chat box. The question will be attended to.
Please feel free to ask questions. Okay, I'll take that as a no. Take that as a no. Ooh. So what do we have here? The blueprints. The blueprints. The blueprints. The blueprints. What is a blueprint? Who can give me the origin of blueprint? What are blueprints normally used for? Anyone, chat room or mute and tell me. The blueprints. If I say I need a blueprint for something, what am I asking? What am I looking for?
Sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay. Blueprint is like say a proposed uh, a proposed document or what you are intending to get.
Yes, yeah, okay. Proposed document or what you're intending to get. Yes, very good, very good. Anyone else?
Blueprint means the summary of what you want to do in context.
Summary of what you want to do in context. Thank you. Anyone else? Chat room, unmute and speak. Let's hear some other voices. We have a few people on this call.
For me,
who understands. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. For
Thank
me,
you.
blueprint is a document or an idea of the direction you want to go. Could be, yeah, something like that for me. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Anyone else? It's nice to hear some voices. Please, anyone else?
Well, we can say blueprint is a visualization of more like a prototype of what is to be done, how it will look like at the end, so it can be seen. If there's any error, you could easily address it before investing into the major project.
Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. Thank you. Thank you all for your contributions. So a blueprint, everyone's answer was correct. A mini structure, this is yes, a mini structure or version of an intended work. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Beautiful. That's all that are all those are characteristics of a blueprint. Blueprint is normally what we in, in building. Normally, blueprints are normally used for what? Things that we are trying to design. Design. If you're trying to design, okay, I want to build this house. What is the blueprint of the house? If the house has already been built and somebody asks for the blueprint, what is the blueprint? What does the blueprint do for you? It shows you what it's a structural or technical drawing plan or the guide using the architecture, that is what the development or engineering outline of a structure or a building. That is where the blueprints normally comes from then. So blueprints has been taken out of context and can be used anywhere. If I want to design a laptop, what's the blueprint of my laptop? What was the design? How was it structured? The components, how are they put in place? Are they in my hard drive? Is it a RAID I'm going to use? Or is it a regular hard drive I'm going to use? My RAM, what's the size? My core, what's the blueprint of my laptop? How is it structured? You have a structure of motherboards and how the components are connected. That is for those who are doing A plus, computer A plus. Blueprints. What are the blueprints of all those things? So in our case here, we have the blueprint, which is the process and workflow modeling of what we are trying to use to get our business analysis designs in place to make sure we can solve the problem at hand. What's important? Solving the problem that we have been called to look at. So we use scenario and process analysis. You map different paths through processes to identify inefficiencies, decision points, and handoff movements. What's the handoff movement? Handoff movement is basically a point in which you personally can, and you hand it off to someone to look at this for you. That's a scenario and process analysis. Then we have process modeling. So you create standardized visual maps using business process models and notations to show sequence of activities, decisions, and gateways, events, swim lines indicating responsibility. So this is basically almost like a mind map, but for business processes. So you've outlined the sequence of activities. It's like I don't say meeting minutes, but there's a certain itinerary. Yes, it's like an itinerary. It shows a sequence of events and how you are going to move from point A to point B. That is what your business process model and notation is. It's more like an itinerary for what you're undertaking. Then you have one of the most commonly seen things in a design process is a DFD, a data flow diagram. Shows how your processes are going to flow from one to the next. Normally, the data flow diagrams, you have what we call what's the name? Those yes, no charts. If yes, you move to this process. If no, we go back and then we look for a solution and we come back to we get a yes and we can move from point A, B, C, D, E to the end. That's why we have the data flow diagrams. So you have AI in action, generating and refining your diagram. So a lot of what we have looked at in this, or we'll be looking at, is visualization of our business analysis processes. And we spoke about visualization as a means of understanding better or gaining a better understanding of what is going on, because our eyes and our ears are the main source of information consumption. So if you can have something in text and listen to it, if you can visualize it in addition, you are almost perfect. Once you can visualize that action or that concept, you are almost at 100%. So we have text to diagram generation. And he says we use Lucid Chat AI or Meme.live to instantly create process models for data flow diagrams. Remember we spoke about using what ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude to get what? To get what was the we get does someone have a question in the chat? I can hear someone unmuted. Yeah, so we use Claude to generate what? We break down a general idea into smaller smaller workflows to get what the general idea. So we put those little workflows into what? Something like Lucy-Chat AI, and it gives us what? A data flow diagram as to how we pardon me, as to how we can move from point A to point B effectively in a diagrammatic form. So if we cannot undertake any part of the diagrammatic flow, we go and look for a solution and we come back, almost like an agile form of thinking. You break it down into sprints, you complete a task before you move on. That is why we need diagrammatic flow, so that we do not skip areas and then get stuck. Then we have what? Collaborative design. We have Miro and Mirror for collaborative design. So you create mind maps. Mind maps allow us to what? Gather our thoughts, not just individually, but among ourselves as a team. Create mind maps that allow us to use each other's ideas to what? Create process flows for team discussions. That is where Mirror and Miro come in. Then we have what? To do analysis and what? Optimization. In anything that we do, in anything and everything that we do, we are looking to what? Optimize. Like I said, we are looking to be what? To be better, to improve upon. If we are not looking to improve upon ourselves, the world would have been stuck using, bicycles. We are always looking to improve upon. So now we are even moving from the traditional petrol engines towards hybridized engines and fully electric engines. Some people are even doing hydrogen engines, trying to use water to power their cars. We are always looking to optimize. We are always looking to improve upon. So here we use strategizer and perplexity AI to analyze the described processes that we have and then suggest bottlenecks, places that will cause constraints in our design process. So we can use these to locate the areas of downfall or slowing down, or places that will constrain our business analysis processes, and then we can understand and do development of those processes to make sure that they are smooth and seamless. So you can even see here, it says AI compares your process against thousands of documented patterns to surface improvement ideas. So like I said, the human mind does not have access to all the information. That's why we have libraries. So now we have electronic libraries in which the AI can compare what you want against those libraries to see that we can have an improvement idea in this area to make your process or your understanding or the optimization of your current process even better. That is what we have in this area. Analysis and optimization. Analysis and optimization. So here we have your AI powered toolkit. So this is just this is the list of what we have looked at so far, from a theoretical point of view. We have looked at these Babok techniques: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are the tools in which we can use. And please bear in mind again, majority of these tools require some form of payment to get the full use. So if you are looking for a certain specific use of these certain of these tools, we will need to input credit cards and do demos and all those things. But we will look into some of the freer ones in a few minutes as we are about to end this section. So we can see root cause analysis. We spoke about it earlier. We use ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude for ideation and code generation. Concept modeling, we have the Fireflies, also and the Perplexity for synthesis and concept extraction. Mind mapping, Miro and Mirror. So you brainstorm, visualizing your brainstorming and your grouping of your ideas. The use stories and the use cases, we have draft your logic with Jasper and write my part. If you want to do your visual mockups, you have your Hotjar framework for prototyping, those doing the web development and application development. Diagram generation from text. You have what Lucidchart, Mermaid, Coda. Some of these have even been embedded into ChatGPT. See, some of these companies, they are not free. So they are always trying to improve. So if you pay for ChatGPT, there's even image generation on ChatGPT now. But I believe the best to use now is what's Claude AI, web development, mind map. Like it can do almost everything for you. Email responding, all those things. Claude is now is steadily climbing to the top with regards to the use of artificial intelligence in the business analysis use case. Then we have what general research and analysis, Perplexity and Humata AI. Then we have what if you're trying to capture meetings, those who are trying to transcribe meetings and capture the main points of a meeting when they're not there and get maybe a summary of it or just get basic meeting minutes. We have what Fireflies and Otter AI. So what are the key takeaways from this theoretical aspect of our session today? Babok provides the why and what's the how, the why and the how. So AI enhances what execution, but does not replace analytical judgment. Like I said, AI is what it's an augmentation of who we are, human beings. It makes our jobs what faster and quicker. It is not here to replace our thinking altogether. So if you enter an office and somebody sends you an email and you already just copy the email, paste it into the AI and say, okay, reply for me. If you keep doing that, there will come a time where the responses that the AI is giving are so generic and so unthought and so unhuman that it might even become a problem for you sitting in the office there. You might not be able to think for yourself that maybe one day you lose access to the license of the AI you're using to produce those emails, and all of a sudden you have found one to know I cannot reply to an email because I don't have an AI. No, it is there to help us respond in a better way and in a faster way. That is all it's there to do. It provides what speed and scale. It is not there to, like I said, it optimizes your process. It's all about saving time. Like I said, any organization that runs efficiently boosts its ROI and its profitability. Speed and scale. And what AI augmented business analysis delivers more value, quite obviously. Where are the values going to be? Where is the value going to be seen? If you do a business analysis for this company and they realize, okay, fine, you're able to notarize 3 or 6 areas in the organization in which processes need to be what's evaluated and what's optimized. Your analysis has then provided them what the ability to what increase their efficiency, increase their profitability, and they will be very grateful for that. That is why you're a business analyst. That's your job. You're being paid for it. That's what business analysis does for those in that space. And now, even as individuals in the business analysis space, the AI is going to help us do the business analysis. And then the AI is also going to help in what the implementation of the business analysis findings so that we can what optimize the processes of any and all organizations. For any and all organizations. Before we move to the technical or no, not technical, the practical sessions for today, we will be looking at a few AIs. We use we'll go online and then we use a few AIs to see how we can implement some of the techniques that we've looked at today. I will happily open the floor for questions and any contributions so far. Are there any questions or contributions on this presentation so far? Any questions or contributions so far? This is the end of the theoretical session for today. Any questions or contributions so far? What do you understand? What have you taken away from today's class? What do you understand? What are the main takeaways from today's class? from today's theoretical class? What don't you understand? What do you want to understand? Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin. I just have one question. I know the first lecturer taught us took us into 10 principles of the Babok, and now you've also taken us another 10. With the way it's going, do we need to know everything at first glance, or how should we approach it? Because for some of us who might be new to some of these things, it might seem too much for us. So what would you advise also, how would you advise us to approach it? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that question. So, yes, 50 techniques. Yes, it seems a bit bulky and tedious for us to consume at a glance. Yes, most obviously. But the idea is to what? It should become an involuntary action. It should be in the back of our mind subconsciously that we undertake these tasks in our daily analysis or business analysis case. So the first 10 that were looked at, let me just pull them up. So workshops, focus groups. Yeah. So the idea is what we can even use AI. So if we jump onto maybe let's say Claude or Google right now, you put in those 50 techniques and then we give it a correct prompt. It can even group those 50 techniques into groups, those with similar sort of principles, the principles that are similar. And you can break them down into a smaller number for us to remember. Then as we are doing the analysis and we are doing the practice, we have main pain points, something we call MPPs, main pain points, things like prototyping. So we have what's the visual, we have what's the text, we have what's the group. So we can group them into categories. So we know that all 50 techniques, we might not remember them, but we remember the main ones that we might need to what contributes to our business analysis processes that we use in our organizations. I'm pretty sure there's also what's it called? There are shorter or what's the name of this thing? Yeah, so basically a breakdown, groupings. The best way to do anything is to group them into what similar groups. So if you're looking at the 50 bubble techniques that are what visual based, the 50 bubble techniques that are based on what's prototyping, the visual techniques that are based on what's grouping and mind mapping and working as a team. Then you can pick like 3 from each, and then you have the main ones looked at. So everything is what's specialized. As you specialize, the more information you might need. So if you are specializing, you feel like you want to go back to those 50 techniques to look for that one technique that will help you in your specific action, then you can do that. But my personal or my knowledge will tell me that I should group them into categories, and I can even use an AI for that to group the 50 techniques into what's maybe 5 or 6 categories, and take 3 from each category and then use them for my business analysis process. I hope that answers the question to a degree of satisfaction. All right, thank you so much. Anyone else, please? Anyone else with questions? Let's feel free ask questions before we take a 10 minutes water break before we come back and jump onto the practical sessions. Anyone else, please? Pardon me. Okay. Mr. Emmanuel, is it all right if we take a 10 minutes water break or 15 minutes tea break?
Yes, so that's totally fine. The class ends by 1 p.m., so our Muslim brothers can go to pray. So we can have 10
Yes,
minutes break and
10 minutes. All right, sure. Thank you very much. everybody had a quick everybody had a quick break. Now we are back. Yeah, so like I was mentioning earlier, almost all or majority of the tools, apart from Chat, Gemini, Claude, they are all tools that require some form of subscription service onto them to get their full functionality. There are some free tools we can use for some of the concepts we are looking here, but they require certain configurations, and we have to get the information from GitHub, do certain installations, and all that. Some require Python, some are not even completely free. But for the ones with the best, for the ones with the best capabilities, they require subscription services where you just input a card, then they charge you a monthly subscription service to use those to use those tools. Let's try one tool. Okay, let's go very basic. Let's use Gemini. Anyone if you're with me, please let's open Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude or AI, whichever one you have access to right now. But let's use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the most common one that we have now. Let's try putting what we have gone through into some form of practice today, right now. Please let me know when you're with me. Please let me know when you are with me.
We are with you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you so much. So from the information you learned last week, let us create a prompt. We are not asking it. We are not going to ask ChatGPT for we are not going to ask ChatGPT to develop a response for us. We are going to ask it for a prompt. Then we are going to take that prompt from ChatGPT to Gemini. But I don't know if the free version. Hold on. Let's do a check. Can Gemini create for us an image? Google's AI assistant seems to be doing better than the ChatGPT these days. Everyone is moving away from ChatGPT to Gemini and all the other AIs. So I'm glad that's where we are at. So okay, create image. Wow. Okay, so fine. So let us create a prompt on ChatGPT using the principles we learned from today and from last week. And let us ask it to create a structured prompt. Let's do this together. So create a structured prompt. So we will be editing the prompt as we go along. We'll make the mistakes of overlooking certain aspects. That's why we are human. So we'll overlook it, and then when we ask for the response, we can then edit it again. So create a structured prompt that we can use to request for an image, or no, a diagrammatic representation of, let's use something basic. Something like a response to an email, a diagrammatic representation of how we should respond to a corporate. So we have to be as specific as we can, and when we are using AI, because if specific response will give us what a generic to a corporate email request for employee bio data. So we can leave this prompt as it is because it's a very generic prompt and it's asking for something that is very generic. But if we were to be looking for a response that is related to a specific field of study or a specific field of operation, so let's say we'll do that after this, but we are looking for a response that is trying to target, let's say, yes, we'll use the audit example we used earlier. That is the creation of what the audit plan that we needed for the banking sector. We'll do that after, but let's do this first and see the response it gives us. And at the end of these prompts, they always give us what they give us examples or further improvements on they ask us questions on how we can improve the prompts as earlier. So you see the way we prompt so simply with one or two lines. The AI itself is giving us a prompt to use and see how detailed it is. Even in my, so yes, like I said, so let's look here. If you'd like, I can also generate. So it's always giving you it's always giving you an optimization. Remember from the slide, you talked about optimization of what tasks and business processes. So this is what it is. So it's even here, BPN style process model. BPN style process model. Remember, we looked at that on the last but two slides before we came into this Pascal session. So let's ask it to do this and see what happens. Business process model and notation. So we are then going to extract this prompt, send it to Gemini, and see the response it also gives us. Do we understand what we're trying to do? So even in ChatGPT, we have the draw function. We don't have a paid version. This is not a paid version of ChatGPT, but if we were to use a paid version of ChatGPT, we could embed or we could connect it to a system like Dry, which is very common for doing structured systems and services from top to bottom. We can do that as a structured system and service from top to bottom, and we can draw a process flow diagram with a draw IO, in which we can edit. We always want to edit our work. So we can now copy this prompt, send it to Gemini. Let's open Gemini. So many AIs or AI use cases these days. So this is our original prompt. This is the second generated prompt. We can do comparison. Let's even do this. Let's copy the first prompt. Let's copy the first prompt and send it to the Gemini. Then we'll use the second prompt and we'll do a comparison. So let's copy. Are we all following? Are we together?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Then let's go to Gemini and we paste this prompt. You don't need to add anything again. You just need to paste the prompt, send it out, and look at the response. Then we'll look at the BPN style prompts and we'll look at the difference between the response the original one gave us and the second one gave us.
Please, can we see your prompt again? The one you type. It said create a
The one we
structured.
put.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
now
the
you type
original. Okay,
the
okay, this
original
one.
one. So
Can
create
you
a
see it?
structure. Yes, that can be used to request for an diagrammatical representation of how we should respond to a corporate email request. Okay, I'm okay.
All right, sure.
Thank you.
Sorry, sir. I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I think this prompt of a thing I asked last week, and I tried making use of it during the weekend. But I don't know if I'm correct
Okay.
with what I did. I wrote out what I wanted and told ChatGPT, like I used four different ChatGPT AI to get I asked each of them the same question and then
Okay.
copied all their responses and then
Okay.
asked one of the AI to combine everything together and before me to unique and also uniquely to make it something accurate and meaningful in a humanized language. Does that make sense, sir?
Okay. Yes, so you took a prompt, you asked four different AIs to provide their response, and
To
then you asked
rewrite it. To
to
rewrite it.
rewrite the response in a humanized way.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'm assuming you are using free versions of each of those AIs, right?
I was using
Free versions, like they are not versions that you have subscribed to. They're just like the free basic versions, right?
yeah, there are three basic versions, sir.
Okay, very good. So like I said, everybody is trying to make money. ChatGPT, whoever created this was trying to open AI. They were looking to make money off an investment because the AI runs on a lot of electricity. It runs on databases. It runs on servers and networking tools to communicate. So they are all trying to make money. So all we are trying to pay. So if you do not pay, you might not get the best version of the response in which you are looking for. Even here on the Gemini, it says what? Upgrade to Google AI what plus upgrade to Google AI Plus. So we have something we call Tennyson, or we have something we call Tennyson AI. Where before Tennyson was just it was called was AI detector. Tennyson was just Tennyson plagiarism detector. When we were in school and we were told to do assignments, not all information is given to us in books. Most of the time, we have to do what our own research and stuff. In the books, you have to then what write and then write it in your own words. So first, there was something called Turnitin. It used to detect what basic plagiarism. It scours the web, it scours the web and looks for um the exact same wording that another maybe author has used on his work. Because you cannot go and plagiarize one because of the fact that it can be copyright infringement, and two because they want some form of originality in your work. So the plagiarism detector scours the net or the vast resources on the net to check if you are going to just copy someone's work and come to paste it as your own. Because I can also just ask Google right now without any form of AI help. Okay, fine. Please tell me the origins of AES encryption, that's advanced encryption, standard encryption, and it will give me an article at the very least of maybe four, five, six responses and tell me that okay, fine, AES encryption started here, blah 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 blah, and I'll get a full and accurate response. But if I go and submit that and turn it in, it is put into Turnitin, it will tell me that I've gone to plagiarize someone's work. So I have to what rewrite it in my own words, and it will give you a percentage in which that is done. But now with the use of AI, it is deemed as what unethical. So if you want to humanize the text written by AI, one, you have to use a human AI humanizer. So I'll show you another tool. Let me open the AI detector. I used it recently to do a check on certain works. So we can let's copy our response. Let's copy our response from Gemini. Let's copy the response from Gemini. So from the original response, we copy what the response that Gemini gave us and put it into the AI detector. Let's go to the Turnitin. Let's follow, please, guys. Let's follow. It's a good question he asked. Helps us understand. So check for AI content. This is you see, there are so many AI detectors. And this is just what I'm about to say is just my personal opinion. I believe some of these AI detectors, they're not even they are not, what's the word? They are not genuine because everybody wants you to use their service. They'll use some form of deception to get you to use it. The crime of deception is not normally prosecutable, especially on online services. So right now, the response I just copied was 100% AI generated, but it's telling me that it's 88% AI content. Do you know what I'm trying to say? 88% AI content. But the only way I can remove the AI is by what? It will ask me for a specific, thing, and then I'll click start remove. Then it will ask me to pay. So sometimes using the free versions of certain software will not help you. Even before you can even sign in, they'll tell you that okay, fine, you need to pay because one way or the other, your text is AI. Sometimes you can write something in your own words and it will tell you that AI generated that text for you. Why is that? Because they want you to use their service. They want you to pay for it. So it is very hard to come across a genuine AI, especially if it's not from a certified brand. So it will tell me that it has. So you see what employee biodata request is humanizing. It's telling me that it's humanizing the text. It will finish and then it will tell me that I should log in, register, and put in card details to get the humanized AI, which is a long process. So you can see what it has used what four different AIs: originality AI, Scriber, GPT-0. Now it's telling me what I now need to unlock it. Even if I unlocked this text and I took it and I put it into the anything that maybe the school is using or the organization is using, it will probably still tell me that there's AI content embedded into the text I'm using. So sometimes it can be very hard to differentiate. But even if there's a differentiation percentage that you can use, you're always looking at what a little bit of change. You can easily also ask ChatGPT to humanize this response. Gemini, sorry. So let's go back to Gemini. Let's go back to Gemini. Please humanize this email. No, not email. Let humanize this response as it will be put through an AI detector. AI, there's a lot of conversation around AI and its pragmatic and moral use these days. You see how short it has made this phone? It's not even giving me a full this now. It's my network. Okay, let's wait a bit. But yes, to answer your question, you can ask it to humanize it, but will it fully give you the humanized response? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You see, we have our diagram here. Can everyone see? Can everyone see?
Yes, we can see
Yes, we
that.
can.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can we see the diagram or should I enlarge it? So we asked ChatGPT for a certain a prompt, right? Not all AIs are the same. Let me even preface this. Not all AIs do things equally. Not all AIs do things equally. Every AI has its what? Strong suit. Every AI has its strong suit. Those of us on social media and TikTok, if you have a good feed and if you have an educative feed, you realize that if you every few scrolls, you get somebody saying that websites you should know, or websites that perform this task, or website you should know past 500 or something. Then they'll give you an AI and say, okay, it does this task. So now, if you go and you check, there are categories of AI. So for AI for generating prompts, they'll give you ChatGPT, they'll give you Claude, they'll give you Gemini. But what is also better is that everyone is also trying to what improve and optimize. So ChatGPT, if I go right now, this is Gemini, it's also free. But if I go to ChatGPT and I also want an image, it will give me pressure, it will use its data analysis, and then it will not be able to give me an image. Let's ask. Please, let's ask ChatGPT and see if it will give us. Please generate. Oh no, let me copy the prompts first. No, let me use it. Please generate an image from the prompts you provided. And please bear in mind, this is just the surface. This is just the tip of the iceberg with regards to what the AI can do. Most of the, or majority of the tools that we wanted to use today are all paid and they all require demos and all those things, which is it's a lot of work. That's why we are sticking to the basic tools that we are using here. My apologies for that. Maybe maybe in the next session we'll have some paid and more complex tools to use. But for now, this is it's demonstrating to us what we need to do. So let's see if ChatGPT can give us the same response as Gemini. So I'm sure last year and a half, or even 6 months ago, some of these create an image options were not on ChatGPT. So we can now do the comparison. Which one gave us the better response? It was able to generate a prompt, and now it has embedded image creation capability. So now it has the image creation capability. If we go to the Miro or the Mural, one of those sites, let's see if we can access the Miro. The Miro I tried, it did not work. Miro AI, visual workspace. It will give us, you see, these responses we are getting are very basic images. They're just images that we can look at and then, okay, fine, we can copy and paste them inside Word documents for what documentation sake. But if we want to optimize our processes, we need a workflow. Oh, Miro is not allowing me. So like I said, all these AIs, you have to play. Yeah, say pay. So you ask for the products, what do you want? Product acceleration, business acceleration, drive transformation with clarity and what? Confidence. Confidence. So see, the AIs that have been created to give us the best, workflow. So look at this. Look at this. Look at what it's doing for us. Enlarge the screen. So many different AIs and what they do for us. So even this movement, I'm the one moving it too. I'm the one scrolling. So if I scroll up, I come back down here. So find flow from ideas. So as a group, you are mind mapping, you are thinking together, all with the use of what an AI. First, you have to do it manually. Take us a week. Now time for efficiency times have now had to be cut down because we want what? Optimize efficiency in the organization for increased profits. Product manager. So this is just like an overview of what Miro will do for you. Yes, so you see how it is, and it's in an application format. Everyone has what their group planning, what they're trying to do. It is moving from what the diagram towards the workflow. So this is what Miro does for you. So like I said, so even this Miro has what's prototyping embedded in it. Move forward with formats you know. So prototype, slide, docs, tables. We even have what co-pilots for Excel in Excel. Those of us who are Excel gurus, those of us who don't touch the mouse when we are using Excel, use just the keyboard. Copilot has been embedded into it. So even things like formulas now are not even a big problem. You go into Copilot while you're in Excel and you ask it, okay, I need a formula for structuring the table with a color code, this for false and then green for all those things. So simple and so quick these days. You don't even have to worry. I'm pretty sure this website itself was designed by AI. Just look, I'm scrolling up, but it will take me into this fast before I can scroll back up again. Let's go back to ChatGPT and see if the image has been able to be created. Okay, very good. Look at this. Let's look at this image. Let's try and enlarge it. Very good. Let's zoom in a bit. What's going on? Very good. So this is Gemini's image. Gemini's image is giving us what? Management approved, management staff approvers, human resources, and requester slash external party. can see that there's no one here. Let's look at ChatGPT's one. It's giving us 5 different sections: records in the IT system, management, data protection, corporate, and what's requesting organization. Okay, let me explain this. ChatGPT gave me a better response because it has in memory things that I have asked it. That's why it is using things like records, data protection, and the requesting organization. Gemini, I don't use Gemini personally. I use ChatGPT more and DeepSeek. That's why it has given me a very basic response. But because of what things that are committed into the memory of this AI system, I have an account with it and all that, is able to generate a response that is more detailed and more what in depth. So we have what we start from here: the email request for employee biodata. We have what the log request. If the log request goes to this is from the requesting organization. It goes to the request log and it's what it is stored. It is what it is stored. Then the log request comes down to what HR or admin, and then the request log, is it legitimate? If no, we have a data protection gives us what a privacy complaint. So it is flowing within all the aspects of an organization, from what good and bad, optimizing the process so that we know what to do at each step in time. ChatGPT knows that I am what a privacy, a PCI DSS 27001 and compliance manager. So it's able to do what? It's able to generate an image based on what my specifications. I didn't even ask it to do that, but it did that for me because it has committed what I have asked it into memory. If I wanted a basic image like the Gemini one from this same ChatGPT, I'll ask it, okay, fine, nullify all the information you know about me and generate me a generic image for a table and to give you this exact response. This one, it has given us I don't say a better looking response, but a more structured response that we can see everything in its stages. Gemini gave us also similar. This did what? Data protection, management, and IT systems. This also did something similar. It did what? Login, acknowledge the request, verify the legitimacy. But this one has given us what? A data protection aspect. So the compliance department, you can section it per department to give to who is responsible. Here, it's not so much that. And it's just what human resources and admin is. There's no data protection, there's no compliance section to pass off to. It's just a general, idea that it has given us. Then you identify what's required employee biodata fields, check internal processes. So it's a data flow diagram. So the yeses and the nos. If yes, you move here. If no, you go back. So we can now see the difference in responses that we get from AI based on the information that we have given it, or it has stored about us. Are we okay? Do we have any questions? Were we all able to get these responses from the AIs that we are using?
Yeah, we have some responses, but they are different. The diagrams are different from yours.
Yes, your it's almost I don't say almost impossible, but it is highly improbable that the diagram I will get, even though it's the same prompt, will be the same as yours. It is almost yes, it is almost improbable. If it was Google Images and we went to and we asked for image of a bike, let's just sorry, image of a bike, image of a bike. I'm pretty sure 90% of us will get at least these first 10 images as 80 will have 80% similarity in the image we get. But if I go and ask an AI for an image of a bike, it will design depends. It can get a web image for us, but it can also create an image for us based on what it knows. And if we know anything as human beings, individuals, if I ask you to draw, if I ask Mr. Let me see where the names are there. If I ask Mr. Isaac to draw a smiley face, and I ask Mr. Femi to draw a smiley face, they will not be identical because they are things from what
Yeah.
they are designs from independent, memory. They are not things that are already there that we are going to fetch. They are designs from independent memory. So if you ask an AI to generate an image of a bike, almost all the AI images will be different. almost all of them will be what? Different, completely different in a way. One might be blue, one might be black, one might have bigger wheels, one might have smaller wheels, because all the AIs they are generating from scratch. So they are all like independent artists. You ask an artist to paint an image of the Mona Lisa, not all images will be the same. Is there a raised hand somewhere?
Yes, coach.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to see, is it not technically wrong to draw a swing without having information of the flow in it? Or the first
To
diagram
draw
that
a
was
what?
drawn by the swing that was drawn in the first image. And yet there's no flow that went into it.
Is it ethically wrong? Swing. Can you
Yeah.
please explain swing?
This one has
SWING.
5 swings. This one has 5 swings now.
Okay, yes, this one. So that's
But the other one
5.
had 3. Yet it's only
Three,
2
yes.
that were utilized. Yeah. So is it right to have a diagram like this because there's no basis for creating a swing without having any flow into it?
Oh, okay. I get you. Okay, there's a swing. It's just that it's not highlighted. So if you see here, there's a no here that is pointing upwards. The request came in from the requester or external party. The request came in, but it is starting here because internally the process will start from our side. But it was supposed to identify like in this one that the request is coming from the requesting organization. It's supposed to start here. So if you look at the data flow diagram and we come to the end, the review for data privacy and compliance, if there is no data privacy and compliance, it's supposed to go back to the requester. A request is supposed to go back to the requester or the external party. That is why the third swing is there. I just think that they didn't draw the diagrams and stuff here like in this one. That's why I said each one will give you a different response. And like you said, morally or ethically, whether it is wrong or not, it is a response that we got. Whether we choose to use it is now in our prerogative. If you understand that, it's now our choice to see if we want to use that image or we feel like it does not meet the requirements of what we actually want. Then we can ask it to what regenerate, or we just discard it and then we go to another AI for what another response and then we decide. So the AI is just doing what you told it. Whether it does it well or it doesn't do it well, it is then for you to what reinitiate a command or tell you, okay, fine, this is not the response I wanted. Please regenerate it with and so. Normally with free versions, it's very hard to get all your requirements met. But if you get a subscription plan on any of those AIs, I believe it gets easier and your responses will get better. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if we can paste images. I want to see some of the images.
It's just further to shed light as to the fact that AI is only
Yes.
meant to assist. If you don't know what you are doing,
Yes.
So, but if you know what you are
Yes.
doing, you know what he has given you is wrong. You need to stick querying further.
Exactly. That's why I made mention of what it is not there to do the work for us. Because if you let it do the work for us, it's what it will make a mistake. It's not everything. It's just doing what you tell it. It's doing what it knows to do. It's not doing things based on what requirements are supposed to be done. It doesn't know everything. It's like a subscription plan. Every person's account is a locked room. It's not going to it is learning, but it is not giving you the exact same response I got from maybe Mr. Isaac or Mr. Adiola. His chat request. He's not going to say that, okay, fine. I gave this response to Benjamin, so I'm going to give the same response to Olamide or whoever it is somewhere else. Each door is a locked door. It just receives, let me say, learning information based on what somebody else has done. So they're currently always teaching it things. It's always learning things on what to do and how to do them. Ooh la la. So yeah, that's just one of the aspects. Let me see. So that's just these. You see, some of these are the things that we need to understand about AI and all these things. I am really glad Mr. Adiola hit on that point. The AI it doesn't know what completely is going on. You have to then specify that okay, this it has met my requirements, and then you can even make changes. So that image, this image that we got like this, if you copy it and then you save it, you can then go and then mix in this subsection and then make sure it connects appropriately to the rest of the image. If not, you can just ask the AI to regenerate the image with what the top not empty. Um, Unfortunately for us, I believe this is time allocated for today. We went to a bit today the concept, I think there were 10, the techniques we went through today. We went through our techniques today, where there were 9 or 10. We went through them. I hope we understood them. So please, are there any questions? Are there any questions on what we just did, what we have done, what we have gone through? Any questions?
Yes, sir. Not really a question, sir. Excuse me. Can I go
Okay,
ahead?
that's fine. Yes, you can go ahead. Any contributions? Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for the presentation. I think one of the reality or the takeaway that is for me that is consistent and that will constantly be my focus will be that AI does not know everything. That must be established. It is what I want, how I want it, that I tailor it to get the final output. If it does not, just like we said also during the course of the presentation, if I ask or give a prompt and it didn't align with what I want, I can tell him this prompt that you gave me is not what I want. This is exactly what I want. This is how I want what I want. And then he's able to do that. So the question I also have to ask is when you talk about during the presentation, you said when we have a paid version of any of the AI, whether Gemini or ChatGPT, does that mean that it's going to still be giving us the same issue or it will still be points? So if it's the same point, why do I need the paid version? For example, let me give you an example. This is a practical example. I have a friend. He's trying to use the ChatGPT and Gemini combined together to design an industrial machine. And during the course of this, he was using a free version. And the free version was giving him something that, he just thought, okay, let him get to the pay version. And he got to the pay version, he was frustrated. It's like even the free version is giving him more prompt or is responding to me more critical than the pay version. So I'm trying to just portray this to say, okay, what I believe is constant will be that it is what the person wants that the AI is able to generate for you. If it gives you what you don't want, then you can discard it. And then, of course, we know that generally, by the virtue of the trainings we have received, that AI is biased. It has been programmed by somebody, so he has a biased nature in him. Somebody was it during the last presentation we had? Somebody say he has a lot of hallucination. He gives you something that is not what it is. So you tailor it to what you want. I'm sure that this is quite a mind-blowing experience for me because it's something that will form the foundation of this AI stuff. Again, finally, sir, during one of our presentations, I think it was last year that we had a presentation of one doctor, I can't remember his name again. So one of his statements he made that stick to me was that natural intelligence equal artificial intelligence. So you must have that natural intelligence first before you can generate artificial intelligence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rick. Thank you so much. That was a very insightful contribution and a very good question. I'll just see if I can answer the question very quickly since we are just about rounding up. So yes, everything you said is pretty accurate. So the question mainly was the paid and the free version. So ChatGPT and Gemini for creating of an industrial machinery, it does make sense. And you see, I think the issue with your friend is this: a paid version is so tailored that free versions will always give you the generic response. And I think in the building of something that is so industrial, you need all the information you can get at your hands. But the free version, it might give you all the information you need to look at in places that even your mind would not have gone to. So you see, the paid version might have given him a very specific response, not giving him as much as the free version. So you might have thought, okay, the free version is always free, but it's like being a plumber. We have high-end plumbers and we have low-end plumbers. So a plumber in Ghana will not be able to do the job as a plumber in the US because the tools and the exposure somebody in the US might have maybe more than the person in Ghana has because the levels of distinction are very clear. So yes, he may have felt the free versions are better, but there might even be the problem might even be the fact that the AI is using is not actually important because I don't believe um anyone is using ChatGPT or Gemini to create industrial grade product. That is an engineering thing altogether. So you might have to have an AI that has more of an engineering background in it. So that's why I said there are specific AIs for each and every tool there. So like I said, on my social media, I get pop-ups of, do you know that this AI can do this? There's so like the AI that have been created are so many. And some of the AIs are being created from AI. I'm pretty sure that when ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, Copilot came out, people went to them and said, okay, fine. I want to create an AI that can perform this functionality. And then it will give them an outline of what they need to do. And using their knowledge of what programming, machine learning, deep thinking, and all those things, they're able to then go and code and create an API or an application that can do certain things. So yes, and you are perfectly right in saying your contribution. It makes complete sense. It's the human being. The AI can only do what you want, how you want, and when you want it. So with that key takeaway and contribution, I'd like to thank everyone for the time today. It has been a very great session, very interactive. I thank you for your contributions, your questions, and I thank you for the time. My name is Benjamin Azuri, and I would like to say thank you and bye bye. I'll give it over to Emmanuel now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin.
Thank you so much.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin. Let's all appreciate Mr. Benjamin in the chat box. Thank you so much. That was really insightful. I'm sure everyone on the call can say today's session was really worth our time. So let's appreciate Mr. Benjamin. I'm not seeing our chats. Let's appreciate Mr. Benjamin in the chat box. All right. So if you're here to fill the attendance form, please ensure to do that. And please ensure to fill the feedback form as this would help to service you better. What can we do better? What would you like us to improve on? So please fill the feedback form. We have the link in the chat box. Fill the attendance form, and that is really important. When you're done filling the feedback form, please chat done. Please let's chat done when you're done with the feedback form. Okay, Afolabi Okay. Chat's done when you're done filling the feedback form. Please let's do that real quick so we can move ahead and go on with today's business. Chat's done after filling the feedback form. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. The material, the recording, and the assignment would be shared right now in the chat box on WhatsApp. The assignment for this class will be shared on WhatsApp immediately. Also, the material and the recording will be shared subsequently. Thank you so much for joining us. Please ensure to fill in your attendance and also submit your assignment in due time. Thank you.